Welcome to God Answers Prayer. I'm Linda Tiano, your host. And today I want us to start in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verses 12 through 13, which says, I know what it means to lack, and I know what it means to experience overwhelming abundance. For I'm trained in the secret of overcoming all things, whether in fullness or in hunger. And I find that the strength of Messiah's explosive power infuses me to conquer every difficulty. We live our lives and make choices that, looking back, might not have been in our best interest. However, when we give our lives and our decisions, good or bad, to Yeshua, He will turn things for His glory. Analicia Sandoval found herself having to make a choice after already having made a choice, and you will want to stay tuned to hear how God turned things around for His glory. We'll be right back after this. Well, we're delighted to have Analicia Sandoval here with us, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much
to
for
share
having
your
me.
story and tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, where were you born?
So I'm a native of Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was born and raised. I currently live in Glorieta.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm 27, so
Okay.
I've been there most of my life.
Yeah.
Here in Santa Fe.
Went to Santa Fe schools.
I went to Santa Fe High,
Okay.
yes, graduated, played varsity basketball with them. And now I currently work for Santa Fe County as an accountant for the DWI Teen Court and Youth Services Program.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, as a teenager, you had some things happen to you, right?
As a teenager, my parents got divorced when I was, I think, 11, and I have 2 younger sisters, so that was a little challenging, but my parents still, to this day, are good friends, which makes our family gatherings more delightful. So I understand, like, people fall out of love, but it's nice to put your differences aside so you can still remain a family for your children.
Right.
Yes.
So what about the walk of faith in your life? I mean, were you raised in a family of faith?
Yes, I was raised and brought up Catholic, and we attended church every Sunday. We prayed regularly before bed in the mornings. We went to vacation Bible study in the summer, which was awesome. So yes, God was always, He has and always has been in our lives, which I'm grateful for. There has been, some tests of faith throughout my life, but He's been the one constant thing that I could honestly say has always been there.
Yeah. So after you graduated high school, what did you do?
I graduated in 2014 and I just started working. I took some college courses. It was hard because I lost my grandparents right when I graduated, and they were everything to me. My grandpa, we would go to church together. He was always praying over us. He was a man of God. His faith was very strong. So I feel like I inherited that. He just instilled the love that God gave us into my family and I. So we were so grateful for that. So when we lost them, of course, we lost a piece of our family, our rock, and we lost my grandmother in August, and then my grandfather in November. So it was a lot going on. So that was really hard, an adjustment for my whole family.
So you continued your work and building a resume, so to speak.
I worked in the restaurant industry for quite some time. So bartending, serving, I liked that, and then I just needed to get more stability. And once you're off your parents' insurance, you need to find some benefits. So that came, and I found a good job with the county, and I've just been working my way up since. I've been with them going on 4 years.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So, and what about romance or any of that type of stuff?
Well, I got pregnant. I have a 2-year-old daughter. She'll be 2 in October, Aliciana. I got pregnant while I was at the county. I was with her father for about 4 years. We got pregnant, and that was a little rough because our relationship wasn't going in the best direction at the time, so that I had some questions about even keeping my daughter, because I knew he wasn't the person for me, and he wasn't, like, I wanted a man that was strong in his faith, that loved me. After, I wanted to be put second. I wanted to have a man that loved God first.
Right.
So that was something I was really passionate about, and I didn't see it going in that direction, unfortunately. So there were some tests. I was wondering, do I want to have a child with this person? I'm going to have to deal with him for, the rest of my life. But then I had to think about, it's not about me. It's about this life that's being created.
Right. But the thought of abortion did come across your...
It did come across my mind, and that is a whole story in itself.
Yeah.
But one day I was actually looking for abortion places to get more information. Throughout my years, I've had friends that had to make that difficult decision, and I was always, I couldn't say much because I hadn't been in that situation myself. But I always thought I could never do that because it's against my religion. I always thought, what would he say if I went through with making this decision? So growing up, I always was totally against it. But I was never I wasn't pregnant, so I wasn't put in that position. But I went to the pregnancy care center in Santa Fe, and I ended up meeting Roberta, and I thought it was some sort of abortion place. However, it was the total opposite.
Yes.
And Roberta, I remember her asking me if I was a woman of faith, if I had God in my life, and I told her about my situation and how it was with my daughter's father at the time, and how I was scared to be bringing a life into this world with this man that barely loved himself, let alone loved me. And so Roberta just told me to pray on it. She said, just talk to God, and I think they'll help you make the best decision that's right for you. So I went home and I prayed, and I was scared to talk to the Lord, because I knew that this is not something that he would want. So it was hard to talk to him about
guilty.
it. Yes, I felt a lot of guilt. So then that's when I knew that that wasn't the decision that I was going to want to make. So I went back the next day and I told her, I prayed on it, and God told me that to have this baby, that would be the best thing. That it may be challenging down the road, there's challenges in our lives every day. However, I feel like I made the best decision possible, all just from talking to God. He led me in the right way that I knew that I needed to go.
Yeah. You needed a little push to really go to him and stop with the guilt, because he loves you.
Yes.
And he loves the life within you.
And he's the one that gave me that life.
Yes.
And I couldn't get pregnant I wasn't trying to get pregnant, but I had the starting stages of endometriosis. So my doctor had told me I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant. So that was a challenge that I had to go through. It was very saddening because I knew one day I did want to be a mother. But I also wanted to have a family, not just be a mom. Not just have a baby. I wanted to have a family.
Right.
So that was a big thing for me. After going through some procedures, the starting stages of the cancer were gone. And so that was another thing too. I thought when I did get pregnant, and if I were to go through with having an abortion, what if I never were able to get pregnant again, and I threw away my chances for a selfish reason?
Right.
So that was also something I was terrified of.
So what happened within the relationship? I mean, were you still with him when you were going through this and you went to the Desert Rose?
Yeah, so we were still together, very rocky. He actually wanted me to have an abortion. So that was another, it was hard to be with the man that didn't really want.
Right, didn't value life.
We had talked about having kids, but just the way our relationship was going, he wasn't really on the same path as that. And when I told him that I decided not to have an abortion, he was not the happiest with my decision. And I ended up actually being single, alone when I was pregnant. I didn't have him to go to like any doctor's appointments with me. So that was really challenging, but I had my mom and my family that supported them. And my daughter is actually the first granddaughter, my first daughter, the first niece. So you can imagine all the love that she gets.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, so I had my mom. She was there with me the whole time. You know, thank God for mamas. And I had all the support that I needed from her. I mean, it was lonely. I wanted, like I said, to have the family. I wanted to go through this experience with my other half, and we're growing a life together. I wanted to just enjoy that whole experience. So it was a little saddening, but I knew that I wasn't alone. I had this little baby that I was growing, and I was so excited to become a mother.
Yeah. So, like you said, you were single, you were alone, but you had a lot of help, not only from your family, but from Desert Rose, right?
They were literally angels on earth. I was so thankful that I met them. All the ladies at Desert Rose, they were so comforting, they were so welcoming, they were supportive. They were going to be supportive of my decision, I think, whether or not I decided to go through with an abortion. However, they were just so happy when I decided to not go through with it, and they were with me really every step of the way also.
Right.
So I thank the Lord for them.
So how far along were you in your pregnancy when you made this decision?
I believe it was before the end of my first trimester. I think around like 11 weeks. So I knew I was like running out of time because they have like a time limit sometimes. And I was scared because I did see the little baby. Roberta showed me the fetus already has, like eyes and ears and a heartbeat. And that just breaks my heart to know that some people do go through with it. I mean, depending on your situation, but this life is just so precious, and you were given this beautiful opportunity, So that was something that I cared strongly for.
And it's very life-changing, isn't it?
It is. Growing a life inside of you and just becoming, it's no longer you anymore. You're in charge of another life. It's a lot to think about, but it's the absolute best thing that I could have ever gone through. Just the feeling of like a little human being inside of you. You feel the kicks, you feel the burps, you feel the movement, and it is absolutely life-changing.
Well, we're going to talk more about this in a minute, but if you're watching this and you are out there and maybe you just learned that you too are pregnant and you're scared, you feel alone, you need to know that you don't have to be alone. There's so many resources out there. Please give us a call. We've got some prayer partners that they can pray with you. They can also give you some information maybe on places to go to get counsel. But more than anything, know that God loves you and He loves the life inside of you. And whatever the decision that you make, He's not going to stop loving you. But His desire is that you choose life. The number's right there on the bottom of the screen. Give us a call. We'll be right back. So, Analicia, we were talking about just going through this whole process of discovering you're pregnant and not having the support of your partner in the midst of it, but the support of your family and new friends that you've made. And now 2 years have passed, but is the daddy involved at all?
So I went through, like I said, the pregnancy alone. I didn't have the support of my daughter's father. He actually didn't believe that she was his.
Oh my goodness.
So when I had her, I did include him in the birth, the labor, and he was present. However, I didn't feel like he was like a father figure should be. He was kind of hesitant to like hold her, and it was rough. However, we did do a DNA test, and it came back that she was his, and he wanted to be around, so we tried working on our relationship. For our daughter, we wanted to work on being a family. So I was thankful for that, because it was nice. It was nice to like go through this experience together and get to love our baby girl together, this life, beautiful life that we created. However, it wasn't for us. I think we were trying to force something that wasn't natural and just wasn't going to make its way through.
Yeah.
But I am very grateful for us trying.
Right.
At least we can't say that we didn't try.
Right.
So he is present in her life, and we share custody of her. It's a little challenging because I feel like there's still bitterness there, and he's mad at me for not wanting to continue trying for our relationship. But our relationship was very toxic, and I just didn't want my daughter to grow up thinking that this type of relationship was normal.
Right.
I didn't want to normalize it for her. I want her to know that she deserves love, and there's going to be a person out there for her that's going to love her, and I want their relationship to be something that God is making.
Yeah.
So we co-parent in the best way possible.
Right. But you became a mama bear.
Yes.
I mean, it comes to a place where, you've got to protect.
She's absolutely everything to me, and I just want the
Yeah.
best for her.
Right.
She's my world, so it's hard like to not have her all the time since we share custody. But the time that I do get her, I'm just in awe, and I try spending every little moment together. And her dad he's present, and he is a good father, and she loves him. I know that, and we just have
Good.
to. And I pray for him every single day, because I know that if you don't, then bitterness develops, and I just want him to be the best version of himself so he could be the best daddy to our baby girl.
That's wonderful.
So I keep him in my prayers every day,
Yeah.
day in and day out.
Well, and I mean, that's so important, because all of those things she sees and will continue to see, and so that she knows that she's loved by both of you, and that it's a safe haven for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want her, that's all I pray for her, that she just has all the love in the world, and she has the great support system on his side as well as my side, and that's just beautiful to me that she is able to have both parents, because I've seen, children out there or families that are broken, and I mean, she's going to see that her parents aren't together, but they do whatever is in their power to give her this great life.
Yeah. So how has this changed maybe even how you do your job?
Everything's changed. Becoming a mother just changes the dynamics
Yeah.
of life. And I can't even picture my life before her. I just thank God every day that he blessed me with such a beautiful little girl. And
So, I mean, I know you said you work for the Santa Fe County DWI Teen Court and Youth Services program. So, I mean, this has got to have given you a lot more depth of understanding, maybe,
Yes.
even outside of the situation that you went through, but just seeing these teens that maybe they don't have the kind of support that you had, but to be able to love them.
And that breaks my heart, because a lot of, like, per se, teenage girls that get pregnant and they don't have the support system, it could be a really scary situation that they're in. But I feel like the Desert Rose came in, and they're just the family that you didn't have, but they are giving you all the love and support that is possible. So there's always resources out there. Like, you're not alone.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's definitely something to remember. But also working with like the youth, I see how a lot of them didn't have both parents, and it does affect them, and it affects them like in their development stages, and when they start going to school and their relationships, it affects a lot of aspects of their life. So it's so important that they have a good support system and that they're going home to love.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important.
So your daughter's father, I mean, he doesn't have a significant other person in his life at this point.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
No.
But, you know, I mean, you mentioned that you're 27 years old. I mean, there's a lot of life ahead of you, and you never know what the Lord's going to do.
Yes.
And bring someone, possibly.
I do have a boyfriend.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
good.
His name's Denny. We've been together since the end of December. And we knew each other when I was pregnant, but he's going through a divorce and going through life also. But I prayed. I didn't expect a relationship to come at the time, but I prayed to God to send me a good, God-loving man whenever the time was right, and that's exactly what he did. So
Wonderful.
he's a man of God, and we go to church and we worship together. We pray for each other. We pray together. My daughter adores him, so we are so grateful.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
So, I mean, literally, God works all things together for good.
He's so, so good.
Well, I just thank you for coming today and sharing with our audience. I mean, this is not anything unique. I mean, so many young women are finding themselves in positions where they don't have that support. And I know you went through Desert Rose there in Santa Fe, and there's CareNet pregnancy centers across the area, and Right to Life. I mean, there's so many out there. And so for you today, if that's you, call. Because like I said, there's resources, there are people that understand. They're not going to condemn you, but they will love you. And most of all, the Father above loves you because he sent his only Son for you so that you could have life and have it more abundantly. And I pray that today you will say yes to him and say, Yeshua, I need you. Come and sit on the throne of my heart and direct me. Give us a call. The numbers are on the bottom of the screen. And we want to thank our audience for joining with us today. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you his everlasting peace. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you for joining us today on God Answers Prayer. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on our program, please contact us by visiting kchftv.org and click on Share Your Testimony. Our prayer partners are here to pray for your needs. Call us today at 505-345-4165. We appreciate your prayers and support. Join us again next time for more inspiring stories and testimonies. Remember, God is always listening, and he answers our prayers in his perfect timing.